my name is MK. I'm the founder of Filipino Home-Based Moms or FHMoms. What we do is we help Filipino mothers inside and outside the Philippines to get an online job, and now we are expanding to helping more Filipino mothers without access to the internet by giving them home-based livelihood opportunities.
Before kasi kami na nag-home-based job, parang living paycheck to paycheck kami. Sahod niya, oy, happy na agad yan, yung matitira. Pero nung nag-home-based na kami, doon nakapag-ipon na kami. Nakapag-church wedding kami. Tapos nagkaroon na kami ng savings. Nagkaroon na rin kami ng investments, tsaka insurance. Nakapag-bili na rin kami ng house.
Dito kasi sa pag nagtrabaho kami sa bahay, mas maraming time na sa kids, sa kanya. Kaya, ayun. Hanggang ngayon, masaya pa rin naman ako sa pag-online yun.
Since sobrang hirap, importante ko na talaga yung talong ng job, na-experience ko na rin yung discrimination sa work. Until October 2018, I was invited to be an inspirational speaker, and you were one of them. So yun, na-meet kita. And then doon ako na-trigger, mami. Doon na talaga doon na ako pinasok talaga ng mundo ng pag-home-based. You gave me hope. I really remember yung experience ko sa isang company na discriminate ko. I got projects, I got freelance job, maging ambassador sa isang company. So those are some things na natutunan ko sa home-based.
Nag-join ako ng FHMoms last 2017, and that was the first year na nag-transition ako from corporate to working from home. So, nakita ko to sa Facebook as a mommy community for, like freelancers. So, that's why I joined. For me, FHMoms is really like a blessing. The group or this community made me realize my calling as a teacher. It's an honor to be part of this group, to impart what I know, and help other mothers out there as part of the goal of FHMoms. So, go for it.
In my job, there are many tasks. There are so many things that needs to be done in front of the computer. There's a lot of forms, paperwork, and also a lot of research. At the same time, being an event planner, I'm always on the go. And as a new company, it's also challenging whether should I hire an employee, like a regular employee, or should I just get somebody that's on call. Now, this is where FHMoms came in, like God said. So when I hired one of the wonderful FHMom members with the name of Katie, I was able to communicate to her what I envisioned my business to be, and she helped me to create a very positive branding of my business. So I would say having FHMoms as a support system for my business has been the best decision that I have ever made.
Okay, back to regular programming. And now, can you hear me, guys? O, ayan. Naririnig niyo na po ba ako? Let me know. Yes. Okay, ayan. Meron na po. I apologize for that technical issue. All right. So again, welcome everyone. It's so great to have you all here as we are in another session where we will get to know and discover the real world of ESL and online teaching. Okay? Kasi marami po sa atin ang nagdadalawang isip. We're having second thoughts. We are in doubt if ESL nga ba ang gusto nating pasukin, or would you venture into online teaching, because there are a lot of things that we are not really sure about, or we're not given the right information about this. Okay? So for tonight, we are going to talk about myths and facts, as well as market rates and opportunities, should you decide to choose ESL or online teaching as your career in the freelancing world. All right, so let's begin. So, first, let's get to know, okay, who you're talking to right now. Para naman may idea kayo kung bakit ko sinasabi yung mga sasabihin ko later, because I want you to know more of my background. Okay? And dito pa lang sa background ko, malalaman nyo na mali pala yung mga ibang iniisip ninyo tungkol sa ESL or online teaching. Okay? So again, I'm your trainer, and I am FHMoms trainer for ESL and online teaching. You can call me Heidi or Mommy Heidi. As you can see, I'm a graduate of commerce and nursing. So I graduated with 2 degrees. As you can see, hindi siya English, hindi rin siya education, right? But I am in the ESL industry, okay? I'm a registered nurse by profession, but I never got to practice, okay? Because I was already an ESL teacher back in 2003. This was office based, right? So I was just taking up my second course nursing, and I was already working part time as an ESL teacher. So nag-aaral sa umaga at nag-duty sa gabi sa ospital while I teach online in the middle of the day. Alright? So 2003, I started my journey as a man-to-man or one-on-one lang na tutorial in an office-based company. And then there was a career growth. I was promoted to become a supervisor from 2006 to 2009, still office-based siya. And then in 2009 to 13, I co-managed one of the biggest ESL academies or schools dito sa Iloilo, because I'm from Iloilo. Anyways, so dun sa pag-manage na yon, I was able to know more yung mga weaknesses ng mga applicants who want to go into the ESL industry, and what would be the things that need to be worked on, right, with these aspiring shooters. And then I started as a home-based freelance ESL teacher in 2013. It's because I already wanted to focus more on my son. So, nag-freelancing na ako, pero as an ESL teacher pa din. Okay? And I also teach Filipino kids as a side hustle. Right? So, nung hindi pa uso yung, yung pandemic, yung COVID. So, it was really more of personal na classes talaga with kids in my neighborhood. But because of this pandemic, then we opted to do it online na lamang. Right? So, that's about me. Now, let's talk about the myths, okay, and facts about ESL. So, number one, Okay? Number one myth talaga siya. Yung people believe that only those with English or education major can be an ESL or online teacher. Okay. So, based on what I have explained earlier sa introduction ko pa lang sa sarili ko, di ba myth siya talaga? Kasi hindi naman ako English major, hindi naman ako education major, but I have been in this industry for 17 years. Right? So yes, while there are companies that prefer the above mentioned courses, yung English at saka education, there are still a lot that don't look into your educational background. Rather, they take into consideration your English and people skills. Okay? So, ibig pong sabihin yan, meron talagang companies that would require, sa job post pa lang, they would mention na um, must be an English major or an education major. Yes, there are those companies. But then, those are not the only companies that you can apply, okay, or that you can apply to. There are also companies that do not look into your educational background. So they don't care kung medical course ka pa or business course ka. No. Why? Because what they are looking at is actually your English skills and your people skills. Meaning kung paano ka mag-socialize with people, how do you handle people, like in given situations with kids, how do you handle them, or how would you conduct classes with them. So basically, it's not really something about the degree or your major or your course in college. Okay, so for those who do not or who did not have a degree in English or education, no worries po. You can still apply for a job with any ESL company that do not specifically demand for that. Okay? That's our first myth. Second myth is ESL companies don't hire newbies. Okay. So yung iba naman natatakot sila because, oh, ayoko mag-apply because I have no experience. Okay? Bakit? Sino bang may experience talaga sa simula pa lang, right? So, while there are companies that prefer those with at least 1 year experience, many still hire inexperienced ones as long as they are proficient in English. Right? So, yung example na lang is yung sarili ko. Okay? Back in 2003, 17 years ago, yung course ko pa lang nun was commerce because I was just starting my nursing degree back then. I didn't have any background, okay, in teaching. Meron akong konting confidence when it comes to English because in my university where I studied, so we use a lot of English like in presentations or in recitations in class. Yun lang yung baon ko during the interview. I was a newbie, diba? My major was not English. I was interviewed and I was asked to name parts of speech, articles, prepositions. Hindi ko naman alam. Mali-mali yung mga sagot ko. Okay? So, but then I was still given the chance, okay? So, to work for them. So, that opened the way for me. At saka dun ko na lang sinimulan to work on my skills and to improve, okay, my English. So, especially background in grammar. So, syempre, everyone starts really as a newbie. Diba? Sa kahit anong trabaho naman, we are all newbies. But it really just takes confidence, especially with yourself, na kaya mo. Right? And then, as long as you are proficient in English, kaya mo na sumagot ng straight English during interview, then who knows, that could be the first step that you can take so you can get into the ESL industry. Okay? So, meron talaga, companies would require you 1 year experience or at least 6 months experience. Okay, yes, there are those companies. Pero meron din companies that do not look into experience as well. Okay lang sila sa newbies because they will train these newbies, and they are hopeful na yung newbies na to, because they are new to the field, mas matuturuan sila. Mas madali silang maturuan. So, it's still, okay, an opportunity for you to go into kahit na wala kang background when it comes to ESL teaching. Alright? The third one, ito, very common. So, yung iba takot. They don't want to go into ESL teaching kasi they think that they must also speak their students' language. Okay? So, ini-expect nila na if the students are Chinese, dapat marunong ka din mag-Chinese. Okay? Or if the students are Japanese, it means that you must learn how to speak Japanese. Hindi naman po. Okay? So, you do not have to learn your student's language. Okay? Kasi, it says there, the fact is, you only need English skills, okay, to be able to communicate and explain things effectively in English. Being able to speak a foreign language may just be, a bonus point for you. So, there, klaro naman siya, kailangan mo lang ng English. Kasi nga, they are learning English as a second language. That's why they want to speak English the whole time during the class. They don't want to use their mother language, like their first language like Japanese or Chinese, because it's useless, right? They want to just use English because that's the field or that's the area that they want to improve. So ikaw, you don't have to learn their language. You just have to be able to explain in English. Wag mo namang haluan ng Tagalog, okay? Because they won't understand you. So just straight English, okay? So maybe some of you would ask, so what about those students na they can't really understand, okay, English? Yung parang sobrang hina nila sa English. So how can you communicate with them? Actually, it's very simple. The students, especially those really beginner students, we call them beginners, okay? Yung mababa talaga yung English proficiency level nila. They always use their electronic dictionaries, okay, online dictionaries, to translate yung mga words na hindi nila alam. For example, you use the word communicate, okay? Para sa mga beginners or yung mga low proficiency, hindi nila alam ang word na communicate. Okay? So, they will not bother you. Teacher, can you please say it in Japanese or in Chinese? No, they don't ask you to do that. Okay? So, what they'll do is, they'll go check on their online dictionary kung anong ibig sabihin ng word na yon in their language. Okay? So, you don't have to stress out kung hindi nila maintindihan, okay, whatever word it is that you are using with them. So, again, you don't need, okay, to learn their language. Pero bonus na yon if you want to, like, learn even the greeting, okay, saying thank you in your language. Yeah, that could be a bonus point. Pero hindi siya requirement. That is something that you should learn or that you should possess before you can get into the ESL industry. Right? Okay, moving on. So we have the fourth E, okay, that we have here. An ESL class is just like conversation or free talking all the time. Okay? Kasi meron sa atin, our idea is, yung ESL na yan, ano lang yan, nagshishikahan lang kayo or kwento-kwento lang yan. That's it. Okay? So yung akala nila, it's more of just conversation or free talking. Tawag dyan free talking eh. Meaning, yung pinag-uusapan nyo is kahit na ano na lang. Okay? So, actually, it's not really true because although most students prefer to have conversation classes nga because they want to practice their speaking skills, but in conversation classes, questions about grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation also arise. Okay. So kasi, merong iba, especially the younger generation, okay, of tutors, they believe na okay na naman ako sa English ko. I can communicate well. I am able to express myself well. So they think na that's already enough for them to survive the ESL industry, or it's enough for them to be successful in this field, right? But actually, totoo nga naman, most students prefer conversation classes. Mas gusto nila yung tinatanong sila or sila ang nagtatanong, there's exchange of ideas, they like it. Kasi in their country, they don't have the chance or the opportunity to really practice their speaking. Okay? But then, you must also be prepared kasi kahit na conversation class siya, questions about grammar, teacher, why did you use in our sentence and why not on? May mga ganong tanong. Okay? So, yung iba naman, teacher, what is the meaning of the word craving? For example. So, magugulat ka na lang. They have vocabulary questions. Or even pronunciation. They would ask you, how do you pronounce this word, teacher? Okay? So, basically, yeah, it is conversation, pero meron pa rin questions about grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation. So you should be prepared for that as well. That is why, aside from your confidence in your conversation or speaking skill as a tutor, it's also important that you also get the proper training. Okay, or maybe you could learn on your own if you don't want to get trained. Okay, you could always study and give yourself a good foundation or background when it comes to grammar, or you could watch videos so you can improve your pronunciation, read books or magazines so you can improve your vocabulary, right? So you can do those things, but do not just be too confident or overconfident na conversation lang yan. Hindi po. Kasi you still need to have the knowledge when it comes to the other areas of English as well, right? Now, moving on for the fifth myth that we have, students are all kids. Okay? So, marami sa atin, they don't, parang na-challenge sila. Why? The students are just kids. Okay? So, I don't like handling kids. Okay? There are actually people who do not feel comfortable teaching kids. Okay? So, don't worry. Why? Because there are a lot of companies that have kids as their students. It's true. But then there are also many companies that offer classes only for adults, or maybe a combination of both adults and kids. Okay, so yun po siya. Hindi po ibig sabihin na ESL or online teaching, mga bata lang lahat ng students. Hindi naman po. Right? So, yeah, there could be companies and they really specify that in their job posts that their students are from 5 years old up to 15 years old, yung mga ganon, they specify it. And they would really require shooters who are good at handling kids. Yes, they do that. But then, don't be discouraged because there are still companies that offer classes only for adults. Ito naman yung mga companies that cater to company workers. Okay, so yung mga students nila are mostly employees of certain companies that would want their employees to be able to communicate in English. Okay? So, meron din namang companies na combination. Meron silang mga adults, meron ding mga kids. Okay? So, it's possible. There's always, okay, a choice for you. So, it could be all kids. It could be a combination of both kids and adults, okay? Or if you want just purely adults, then it's also fine. Okay. Next, we have the sixth myth that we have here. The rates of all ESL companies are so low. Okay. So, marami po sa atin, right, would have this idea, I don't want to join the ESL industry kasi sobrang baba naman ng rates ng lahat ng companies. Okay. Yung mali lang naman po doon is nilahat mo na. Okay? So, hindi naman po lahat. Why? The fact is, usually, companies that accept newbies may have lower rates compared to others. Okay? But with your experience and credentials, opportunities for higher pay are always there. Independent contractors can demand their own rates even. Sige, explain ko lang to. So, in several job posts of ESL companies that you can find, may it be on Facebook, may it be on freelancing sites. So, usually, yung mga tumatanggap ng newbies or yung mga walang experience, true naman, they have lower rates, okay, kumpara sa iba. The rates, I will be explaining that later. Okay, may part tayo for the rates. I'll be discussing that. Don't worry. Okay, kung magkano ba talaga ang low. Okay? So, dito lang muna tayo sa myth na to. So, kasi newbie ka, wala kang experience. So, companies would offer lower rates. Okay? Pero, once you become an experienced shooter, okay, tapos may mga training certificates ka na, you took English tests or English exams, syempre, there would be better opportunities for you. Better opportunities like companies that would require yung may mga TESOL certificates, okay, those who have taken the IELTS, kasi magtuturo din sila ng IELTS, for example. So, yung mga may 1 year or more experience na sila, meaning alam na nila yung kung paano i-handle ang class, then, of course, you will always have higher rates, okay, or higher pay compared to the newbies. Okay, so I think katulad din siya ng ordinary job that you apply for. 'Di ba? Parang entry level pagpasok mo sa isang company. The rate, of course, is not so high kasi entry level pa lang yung position mo. But with your experience, and of course, na-develop mo na yung skills mo, parang na-promote ka. Yung parang gano'n. So you can, okay, stay in the same company or venture into another company, but this time, because of your better qualification, then you can demand for a higher pay. Okay? Pero yung pinakamasaya sa lahat, okay, is to become an independent contractor. Right? So, what does an independent contractor mean? So, yung independent contractor or independent shooter na tinatawag po natin, sila po yung hindi sila nagtatrabaho. They don't work for any company. Okay? They work for themselves. And they treat this job, okay, as their own like business. It's their own business. Why? It's because they market their own selves, okay, sa mga different nationalities. So, example, kung sa mga Chinese nationals, these independent contractors, they join the platform WeChat. Okay, sa WeChat sila naghahanap ng mga students. How do they do that? So, syempre, they build their portfolio, 'di ba? May experience na sila for several years, okay? They even make their own videos para ma-invite nila yung mga students, okay, to take their classes. They build their portfolio, they market they market themselves in different platforms like WeChat, for example, in China. So, they they post there. Minsan may mga Chinese translation pa yan. Google translation lang yan lahat. Okay? They cannot really speak Chinese. Pero Google Translate will help you with that. So, no worries. Para lang ma-convey nila. Kasi there are many Chinese people who still cannot really understand na nag-advertise ka pala ng services mo. So, they use Chinese, okay, to market themselves. So, independent contractor yung tawag sa kanila. So, mas masaya siya. Bakit? It's because you set your own rate. Okay? So, example, meron na akong experience na 5 years in teaching. So, confident na ako, diba? Tapos, Marami na akong naturuan, different levels. My kids, my adults. So, sa sobrang confident ko sa self ko, gusto ko yung rate ko is, let's say, $10 per hour. So, that's my rate. I set it. Okay? So, depende na yon sa mga students if they would accept my rate or they would take my services. That's how an independent shooter or an independent contractor works. Ikaw din yung pipili. What platform are you going to use for your classes? Skype pa din ba? Or Zoom? Or whatever platform, okay, you would want. Materials, ikaw nga lang yung mag-prepare. You will be tasked to prepare your own lessons kasi independent ka. Wala kang company that would provide all those things for you. Okay? But then, the good thing is, you're able to set your own rate. You could set it as high as you want. Okay? Depende yan sa believe mo sa sarili mo. Okay? So that's how independent contractors or independent shooters earn so much in teaching ESL. Tsaka wala pa yung limit, okay? Kasi you're an independent contractor. You are not bound by like a certain rule or contract na ito lang dapat yung turuan mo, ganitong oras lang. Hindi. Diyan, if you're an independent contractor, you're free to choose. Gusto mong magturo ng Chinese sa umaga, Japanese sa gabi, sa madaling araw, you want Russian, okay, or Turkish. Possible yan, okay? Because it's you who's offering the services. 24 hours a day, kung kaya mo, pwede din siya, okay? Now, for the 7th myth, okay? Companies require fixed schedule and minimum hours. Plus, it's impossible to take another side hustle, okay? Yung another job that you can take. Sige. So, that's a myth, okay? Why? Because the fact is, yes, it may be true that some companies may have fixed schedule, but there are others that offer flexible time, okay? The same goes with minimum hours per week. And then contracts with companies may include a non-competing clause, but not all have this provision. Sige, isa-isahin po natin. So, hindi po totoo na lahat ng companies or ESL companies require you to work at a fixed schedule. Okay? Meron naman, sa job post pa lang, clear na naka-state doon anong oras, anong araw yung classes. Okay? So, for example, job post. We need shooters who are willing to work Mondays to Fridays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. So, yon, fix nga yung schedule nila. Mondays to Fridays talaga from 5 p.m. hanggang 10 sa gabi. Alright? But then, not all companies would do that. Kasi, we have to understand na there are companies that offer flexi time. Okay? Excuse me, or flexible time. Meaning, yung platform nila, they created it para yung shooter may freedom siya to choose kung anong oras niya gustong magtrabaho. Okay? Kasi, yung company na yon, they have students 24 hours a day. So, imagine, for example, ngayong Lunes, I cannot have classes in the morning kasi may homeschooling ang anak ko. Okay, sige, afternoon na ako. In the afternoon, I will have my online class. Okay, pwede yan. 1 to 5 lang kasi 6 p.m. magluluto pa ako ng dinner. Okay. After ng dinner, mga 9 o'clock, free na ako. Sige, I will have classes again. So, broken schedule siya. Okay? Monday, that could be my schedule. Tuesday, pwede namang, very busy ako the whole day. Hindi ako magka-class. Okay, then no classes. Wednesday, free ako the whole day kasi holiday, walang pasok yung anak ko. Wednesday, the whole day, I can have my classes. I can do that. I can plot my schedule kasi flexible yung time. That happens kasi yung students naman yung pipili if they want to book my class. Okay? So, hindi po totoo na dapat sa ESL, fix lang yung schedule kaya ayaw mong pumasok kasi gusto mo ng flexi time. Meron naman pong choice. Okay? Kung gusto mo yung fix talaga, pwedeng-pwede. Kung gusto mo ng flexi lang, pwede din siya. But then you have to remember na your salary depends on how many classes have you done or completed. Okay? So meaning, kung kukunti yung classes mo, maliit din yung susweldohin mo. Okay? So it's the same with the minimum hours per week. So may companies na they require you, kahit flexible time siya, you must render at least 20 hours per week. Okay? Meron namang iba, wala. They will not set minimum hours. Kasi para sa kanila, it's up to you. Kung gusto mong kumita, okay, then have classes. Kung ayaw mong kumita masyado, okay, then, okay, relax ka lang. So, it doesn't apply to all companies. Okay? When it comes to contracts, syempre, if you join a company, they really require you to sign a contract. Okay? So sa contract na yon, may non-competing clause. So meaning, while I'm working for this company, bawal po akong mag-work for another ESL company. Okay? Kasi kompetensya sila, di ba? Or I cannot render services as an ESL tutor kasi yun yung nature ng business nila. Pero, meron namang ibang companies na they do not have this provision. Hindi yan naka-include sa contract nila. Meaning it's okay. You're teaching for them, tapos sa free time mo, like on weekends, kung gusto mong mag-work sa iba pang online companies, or if you want to become an independent contractor, pwede din siya. Right? So, pwede ka talagang mag-side hustle. Okay? So, or pwede mong gawin. You can do it on a reverse. Pwede mong gawing side hustle ang online teaching, okay, or ESL. Kasi if you have a regular job, like an 8 to 5 job, for example, office work man siya or home-based din siya, pero you still have a lot of free time, example sa gabi, then you can go into companies, you can apply sa mga flexi time lang. Kasi pwede kang mag-work from 7 to 10 or 8 to 11 p.m. Depende, okay, sa'yo kung ano oras mo gusto. So, you can do it as a full-time job or you can do it on a reverse as a side hustle. Pwede po. Okay? Next, for the 8th one, okay, there is no career growth in teaching. Ito yung sinasabi nila, magtuturo ka na lang habang buhay, okay? So, sasabihin ng iba, you will be an ESL teacher, okay, then even if you're in your 40s already, then you would still be doing the same thing, okay? Or even if you're in your 50s, okay lang naman, di ba? So, actually, kung yung prinsipyo mo sa buhay is, okay lang, as long as kumikita ako ng maganda. So, it doesn't matter. Kasi home-based naman ako. I am not into, like, getting into a higher position na, kasi kontento na naman ako kung magkano yung sahod ko. But actually, it's not just about that, okay? Meron din namang career growth in teaching, okay? So, fact is, many start as ESL teachers handling the basic classes like conversation or grammar, yung mga madadali lang, okay? But given this experience and the confidence gained, they then venture into more advanced classes like exam preparations such as IELTS or TOEIC, which of course pay more. Mas maganda yung sweldo dyan, okay? Opportunities of working as a group leader or a team leader or even part of the admin or training team is also visible. Alright. So kung talagang grabe yung ambition mo, okay, in life, na hindi, kahit na home-based ka, gusto mo pa din may career growth, pwede pa din. Kasi lahat ng newbies, okay, we start by teaching yung mga basic classes lang. Conversation, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, okay? Those basic or those easy classes. Pero, dahil nga sa years of experience mo, tapos naging mas confident ka na kasi nag-aral ka, or may mga trainings kang na-attend, so you decide to venture into more advanced classes. Ano naman to mga more advanced classes? Ito naman yung mga classes na mas mahirap na sila. Mga example, business classes, okay? Yung mga estudyante dyan, mga mostly, mga company employees, yung iba nga, mga top management level, kasi gusto nilang ma-practice din yung English skills nila. Others, like exam preparations, for example, you're planning to move to another country, so kailangan nilang mag-take ng IELTS. Or for university students, gusto nilang mag-aral to take the TOEIC test, so kailangan din nila ng tutor. So, dahil confident ka na sa skills mo, then you can offer these classes. So, proud ka nang sabihin na, yeah, I can handle it. I can teach IELTS or TOEIC. Mas malaki yung sahod po dyan. Okay? So, may career growth ka na kasi from basic classes, okay, nag-level up ka, you're now able to teach, okay, more complex, more specific, okay, classes like test preparations. Again, meron din naman mga companies that would offer you positions, okay, like they would ask you to join their admin team, wherein either maging team leader ka, or pwede namang maging part ka ng training team kung saan ikaw na yung magte-train ng newbies. It's really possible. So there is really career growth. Okay? So kahit na nasa bahay ka lang nagtuturo, but then you would still experience it na meron pa pala akong ibubuga at saka pwede pa pala akong I should say I can have a higher designation or a higher post than what I have or what I am doing right now. Okay? So I think those are the most common myths that a lot of us would hear from friends, okay? Nachichismis lang sa atin. So it's better that we set the record straight and you already know ano ba talaga yung katotohanan doon, okay? Now, let's talk about the market rates and the opportunities. Okay. So, actually, hold on. I don't know what's wrong with this, but okay. For the market rates, we have, so starting rates, okay, for newbies, we have 110 pesos per hour or 55 pesos per 25 minutes of class. So usually, ito yung rate, mababa siya, diba? Or mga around $2 or 2 point something dollars lang siya. This rate applies dun sa mga companies na your requirements nila are so easy, okay? And yung lesson systems nila are also very simple. Okay, so explain ko lang ng konti. So, newbies are welcome, okay, sa mga ganitong companies. So, pag nakita mong mababa yung rate, it's because they welcome newbies to join them. And ito yung mga companies na sobrang baba lang ng requirements. Example, yung mga computer specs nila, yung internet speed nila, hindi siya masyadong mataas. Okay? So, that means na mas mababa yung rate. Also, yung lesson nila is very simple lang siya. Ito yung mga classes na naka-pattern lahat ng lessons wherein from the introduction, hindi, sa greeting pa lang, sa good morning or sa hello, naka-pattern yan. Itinuturo yan sa inyo sa training. From the greeting to the introduction, and then how you go over the different exercises, pati na rin yung pagtatanong mo sa students, itinuturo sa inyo. So parang ano ka lang, you would think na na-memorize mo lang yung pattern, okay ka na, masusurvive mo na yung klase mo. Okay? So, usually, it's really stress-free kasi hindi ka na nahahassle pa na, ay, kailangan kong gumawa ng lesson, I have to prepare. Okay? So, these are very easy and simple lessons lamang po. So, that's why the rate is also low kasi para sa kanila, the company already prepared and laid down everything for you. Yung gagawin mo na lang is to deliver it to the student. Okay? So that's the starting. There are also companies that would pay you around 200 to 250 pesos per hour of class. Okay? Hour or minsan mga 50 minutes lang siya. Okay? So, this usually applies to companies with higher or more complex requirements. Tapos, mas advanced yung lessons nila. So, ito yung mga companies na nagre-require ng mga TESOL certificate or yung internet speed nila is sobrang taas, okay? Or even yung specs ng computer would also be very high. So, mas komplikado yung mga requirements nila, okay? And then, of course, the lessons, kasi nga, mas mataas yung rate. So, meaning, mas mahirap din yung mga lessons na ituturo nyo. So, ito na yung mga test preparations, or kung hindi man test preparations, pero ikaw yung gagawa ng mga lessons, okay? You will be preparing everything for your students, okay? And then, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung independent contractors. So, 250 to 500 pesos per hour of class. So, that's $5 to $10. Okay, meron ng iba masobra pa sa $10 eh. Okay, so, this usually applies to independent contractors or independent shooters who set their own rates. So, ito na yung sinabi ko kanina na ikaw ang bahala kung magkano ang gusto mong isingil sa mga students mo. Kasi ikaw naman yung nakakaalam ng skills mo. So if you think that you're really good, okay, at what you do, then okay, mag-demand ka ng 500 pesos per hour or $10 for example. Okay lang siya. As long as ma-justify mo naman na I can really deliver well. Okay, so this would be the market rate for ESL shooters. So, yung pinakamababa, as you can see, those are for newbies at yung mga madadali lang po. And then, of course, if you become experienced already and you choose to be an independent contractor, then mas mataas na po yung rates mo. Okay. So, opportunities for ESL teachers, where can you find them? So, sa Google pa lang po mismo, makikita nyo na. Mag-search lang kayo, ESL companies. Tapos, makikita nyo na po doon, not only the names of their companies, but also their requirements. What do they require from you? Yung mga specs ng computer, yung internet speed, even the headset, okay? So, all the requirements, kahit na yung mga, kung may, naghahanap ba sila na may degree, or okay na sa kanila yung undergrad lang, or may age limit pa ba? So, there are companies that would mention that, okay? So, in FB groups or Facebook groups, you can also join various ESL teacher or ESL teaching groups and you'll be updated with a lot of new job posts. So, dun po, makikita nyo, every day, may nagpo-post dyan. Okay? So, kasi minsan others are disheartened kasi when they go to freelancing sites, wala naman silang makitang mga ESL posts doon. Yes. You may find, okay, some established companies posting there. Pero sa Facebook groups po, pag nag-search kayo dyan, nag-join kayo ng mga ESL teaching groups, araw-araw po, may nagpo-post dyan na nag-hire yung mga companies nila. Bakit nila pinopost yon? Bakit nila i-share yung opportunity na yon? It's because they will get referral fees from their companies kung may a-apply using their referral code or kung i-mention sila na sila yung nag-refer sa kanila. So, they would earn something from that. Okay? So, these two, especially the Facebook groups, there are a lot of job opportunities that you can find there. Okay, so why or opportunities for teaching will not run out. Okay, I'm really confident with this. Imagine 2003 pa, okay, nagsimula na po yung ESL. Pero bakit continuous pa siya? Nag-evolve nga lang. We started in office-based. Yung mga foreigners yung pumupunta sa Pilipinas to study English back then, during my time. Okay? Nag-evolve lang. Akala nga namin, most of my friends who were also in the same field, we all thought that, oh, maybe after 5 years, after 10 years, nobody's gonna learn English from Filipinos anymore. But no, nag-change lang po tayo ng platform. From man-to-man classes, instead of coming to the Philippines, they moved into online, okay, teaching. So, doon na sila nag-aaral. And let me tell you, why am I confident that opportunities for teaching will not run out? The first one, learning English around the world never stops. Okay? There's always a company that hires online teachers. Tama po. Kasi you go to China, you go to Japan, okay, you go to Korea, Asian countries pa lang po yan. Okay? I'm not yet talking about European countries, okay, that look for tutors, especially Filipino tutors. So, marami talaga around the world gustong matuto ng English. It's because in their country, they have no opportunity or no chance to really practice their English. So, ano yung gagawin nila? Will they go and travel just to study English? Hindi po siya cost effective, diba? So, what they do is they go online. They look for tutorial services or ESL companies that would help them connect to ESL tutors. So, as you can see, there would always be a company that would hire online teachers. Okay? Next, non-native English-speaking countries want their younger generation to be good English speakers. So as young as 2 or 3 years old, they enroll them in English classes. Tama po yan. Kasi na-learn na po nila na it's so difficult to learn English when you're older. Okay? Yung iba sa kanila, 30 years old na, dun pa lang nag-start mag-aral ng English. So, it's more difficult, right? So, they have realized that. And these countries, let's talk about our neighbors, Korea, Japan, China. Okay? So, kung mas bata pa, okay, yung mga anak nila, 2 years old, 3 years old, they think, oh, that's the right time to study English already. So, they don't stop naman from having kids, diba? So, meaning, there will always be a generation for you to teach. Okay? So, baka ngayon, yung mga ate at kuya, sa susunod na mga taon, yung mga younger siblings na yung tuturuan mo. So, they still continue and they want their young kids to learn English already. Next, learning English online is incorporated, in the school curriculum of many countries. Tama po to. So, meron pong mga Japanese schools, high schools, middle schools, Chinese elementary schools na part na talaga ng curriculum nila yung English online classes. So, imagine, it could be, nandito sa Pilipinas si teacher, tapos isang buong classroom yung nasa screen niya, okay, of Chinese students. Yes, it does happen po. Or, it could be, like in Japan, one-on-one class siya, pero sa background, makikita mo yung mga estudyanteng Hapon, they share cubicles, okay, or parang spaces lang. Tapos, isa-isa sila may online classes. Again, with Filipino teachers. So, part na ng curriculum. Naka-uniform pa sila. So, it's already part of their curriculum. Okay? University students in certain countries need to prepare for English exams in order for them to get a high-paying job after graduation. Tama po to. Specifically, let's talk about Korean university students. They all want to take the TOEIC test. Ito po yung English test nila doon. Bakit? Kasi they want to get a high-paying job. Sa kanila naman kasi yung pagkakaintindi nila is if you get a high score in TOEIC, meaning magaling ka sa English. So, companies would hire you, okay? So, yung TOEIC test nila is more on grammar, listening, and speaking also. So, kailangan nilang mag-prepare for that. So, they need tutors. So imagine, every year, may university students talaga na nag-graduate and they would study TOEIC to prepare them for the exam. There are also companies, okay, they want their employees to be able to communicate in English to be at par with their foreign counterparts. This is true naman po for a lot of companies who have international branches, okay, or may mga sister companies sila sa ibang bansa. So, nahihirapan sila if their employees cannot communicate in English. So, they force actually their employees to study English online para naman makapag-communicate sila with their foreign counterparts. Okay? Next, many want to migrate to English-speaking countries, so they want to take English exams first or they want to learn the basic conversation skills. Yes, marami din po sa kanila, they migrate to English-speaking countries like Canada or the US, Australia, because of work, or baka dun mag-aaral yung anak. So, kailangan po nilang kumuha ng IELTS or para lang meron silang basic conversation skills na when they arrive in America, they already know how to communicate with their neighbors. So they want to practice that before moving there. So again, they're looking for tutors, okay, to help them with that. The last one we have, retirees or old aged people still want to be productive. So they want to learn a new language despite their age. Okay, so this is really true. In the Japanese company that I work for, we have, or I have students as old as 70, 72 years old. So imagine, ganun na yung edad, nag-aaral pa ng English. It's because they want to be productive. As we know, yung mga Hapon talaga, they really, how do I say, they age gracefully. Okay, so compared to other nations, okay, mga Hapon talaga, tumatanda sila na parang wala lang, hindi mo talaga ini-expect. Looking at them or talking at them or talking with them, you would say na she's only 50, but actually no, she's already 72. Okay? So, wala silang magawa. So, what they want is to have somebody to talk to, this time in a different language. So, gusto nilang mag-English. So, they have online classes. Okay? So that's it about the market rates and opportunities for ESL teachers. Now let's talk about market rates and opportunities naman. For online teachers, I'm talking about having Filipinos as your students. Online teachers meaning, ito na, hindi lang siya English. Pwede ka ng math online teacher or Filipino online teacher. Okay? So the rate is actually 120 to 150 pesos per hour of class. Probinsya po to ha, provincial rate, and depending on the difficulty of the subject. So meaning, kung mas mahirap na subjects like math or ang tawag sa atin sa grammar, sa English language, okay? So, yun, then you can ask for a higher rate. Pero yung mas madali lang, like reading, Filipino, then lower rate. You can also demand that, okay? While on the other hand, for Manila, okay, we have 175 to 250 pesos per hour of class. So that's around $3 to $5. Again, depende po siya kung gaano ka hirap yung subject na ituturo po ninyo. Right? So, you can do this again as a side hustle. So, kung mayroon kang full-time job, gawin mo na lang itong side hustle mo or racket mo. Okay? Kasi dito, pwede kang magturo not just English, okay? But even other subjects that you like. So, bakit tayo may opportunity na ganito? It's because with the new normal, everyone uses the online platform to study their lessons. Tama naman po. Parents need assistance in teaching their kids the different school subjects. Nung pumapasok pa yung mga anak natin physically sa schools, meron na nga namang mga tutorial centers, diba? Yun nga lang, face-to-face yung classes nila. Pero ganito din po yan. Ngayon, kahit na online yung platform, meron pa din parents na kailangan nila ng assistance, okay? With their kids when it comes to like the subjects in school. Kasi hindi naman kaya ng nanay na sagutin lahat, okay? So, the tutor would be very helpful with that. Next, there will always be a friend, a relative, a neighbor, or someone you know who needs help to do follow-up, okay, classes with their kids. So, tanungin mo, meron ka talagang kakilala na they need assistance. They need someone to help them kasi wala silang patience to teach their kids, okay, or na-try naman nila yung best nila pero parang kulang pa din. So, they would always need help. There are Facebook groups or pages and even platforms that can help you connect to parents who need your services. Or you can be an independent shooter too. So, eto na po yun. Merong mga Facebook groups, meron din pong platforms na naghahanap sila ng mga tutors. This time, magtuturo ng different subjects like Filipino or history or different parts of math or different kinds of math. So, pwede kang mag-join sa kanilang company or their groups or pwede kang maging independent shooter. Ikaw na yung mag-market ng self mo. Okay? Para sila na yung kumuha ng services mo directly. And the last two here, we have the best thing is you're not only limited to English, you can offer to teach various subjects depending on your preference. So, kanina sa ESL, syempre English lang po lahat yon. Pero this time naman, sa online teaching, you can teach any subject na gusto mo. Po pwedeng, gusto mo math lang, okay, math lang ang ituro mo. Okay? Or if you want Filipino, kasi confident ka sa Filipino, then so be it. And once established, you can even start your own tutorial center with a network of tutors working for you. So ito po yung maganda dyan. If you have established your name as a good tutor, so i-recommend ka na, diba, ng mga naturuan mo. So dahil dun sa recommendation nila, you can start your own online tutorial center. Oh, ikaw na yung boss. And then, kukuha ka na ng mga tutors mo na mag-work for you. Maybe from your friends. Or maybe you can just have applicants all over the Philippines kasi online naman yung platform. So, I mean, there is no limit, okay, for your growth here. You can start as a like a one-on-one shooter lang, na independent shooter. And then later on, kasi napakita mo yung galing mo, okay, you can have a bigger market now. You can offer your services to other people or to a lot of people. And then you have your tutors who would work for you. Okay, so there you go. That's the end that's the end of our discussion tonight. I hope after this session you're all enlightened on what it really is or what really happens in the ESL industry and what opportunities do you also have when it comes to online teaching, especially nowadays na yan na yung uso, okay, or the new normal. So that's it. If you have any questions, okay, so let me just read some of the questions that you have here. There is one question earlier. If meron bang age requirement to be an ESL teacher? Actually po, it depends on the company pa din. If you want to like divulge or talk about your age, okay, merong mga companies kasi na they don't care about the age, okay? Okay lang sa kanila. Kahit na you're in your 50s, okay, they still accept teachers. Although, meron talagang companies na they only require up to 29 years old. Ayaw na nila ng mga 30s, okay? So, meron talaga. They would include that in their job post. Pero, meron din namang companies that they only set yung minimum age. Dapat legal age ka. 18. Okay? So, yun lang yung, that's the only thing that they mention. Yung, yung minimum age limit, that's 18. So, meaning, they don't care na kung nasa 40s ka na, 50s ka na, carry pa rin sa kanila yun. Okay? And then, I often tell also, yung sa mga na-train ko na, and then even my friends na, If they don't ask you about your age, then you don't have to tell them. Okay? So, or in your introduction, when you introduce yourself, you don't have to say, "Hi, I'm Heidi. I'm already 50 years old." Okay? You don't have to emphasize that. Okay? Kasi wala naman silang pakialam eh. As long as you look young, you feel young. Okay? So, and you know how to deliver the lessons, okay na sa kanila yun. Right? So, there's a comment here. Other than Palfish, Akadsock, and Rare Job, what are the other companies that offer ESL? Thank you. Okay. So, actually, napakadami po ng mga ESL companies. So, there is um, the common ones that we would often hear would be 51 Talk. There's also Ingo. There is Ingo, 51 Talk, Native Camp, um, Rare Job. You already mentioned it. You, wait, I forgot the name. You Talk. There is Panda English. There is ABC 123. Napakadami po. If you want a complete list, you join. I would suggest that you join sorry, Facebook groups, okay? And then you will see from there a lot of companies. Kasi i-mention nila yon. Our company, for example, our company, Rare Job, is looking for new tutors, yung mga ganon. So, they really mention the names of their companies there. Okay? Mhm. So, what else? Other questions po that you have? Is there anything else before we, just to make sure na I didn't miss on anything? Wala na po kayong questions? Are you sure? Sige, maghahanap ako, magbabasa ako. Ano pa ba? If we chat, okay, I'm sorry. If WeChat is for Chinese nationals, what company are for Japanese po, and where to find Japanese clients? Okay. Actually, meron akong nakausap, and then she mentioned, because she's in Japan, she mentioned that in Japan, they use Line. Yeah, they use Line and I forgot WhatsApp. So dalawa, Line and WhatsApp, I think. Those are the platforms that they use to market their services. Anything else po? Is the course open this October? Yes po. Our ESL course, okay, is open. I think the enrollment is extended until this coming Friday. You can still get enrolled this coming until this coming Friday, October 9th. You will just have, yeah, because the training naman kasi sa FHMoms, the good thing about that is self-paced po siya. Okay, so meaning you will be learning the modules depending on your pace. So, kung gusto mo po sa ganitong araw, you spend 2 hours, the next day, just 1 hour. It depends po sa inyo. As long as you finish the whole or the complete modules, that's for 5 weeks po sa ESL. So, with the 5 weeks training, we have 2 live sessions every week. So, twice a week kami nagmi-meet para sa mga questions nila. or kamustahan, or if there is something that they want to know na hindi included sa modules, then we talk about it sa live sessions. And yung pinaka-highlight po namin is our 5th week together kasi ano namin yan, practical applications. Just to give you an overview, sa ESL po or sa ESL and online teaching course ng FHMoms, you will learn the basics of grammar. So, talagang after ng course, you would tell yourself na grabe na yung foundation ko sa grammar. Okay, marami talaga kayong matutunan. And then there would also be pronunciation modules. So, marami pa kayong mga dapat na matutunan paano pa ma-improve yung pronunciation ninyo. And then we also have yung mga teaching styles, how do you do or how do you deliver the classes, yung mga ganun. Also, the last part, yung practical applications natin, we have there, mayroon kaming mock interview, like how should they act and what are the things that they should say during their interviews. May demo class din po kami. So, nag-demo po sila sa akin na ako yung student and they'll be acting as a teacher. Para after the course, they would really feel na ready na sila. They're so ready and then they're prepared to like give out their applications. Okay, so how much would be the whole course fee? The whole course would be for 5,000 pesos. So, 5 weeks yung training, pero you get 1 year access to the module, meaning pwede mo siyang ulit-ulitin. Kahit na you are already working as an ESL teacher, tapos meron ka pang gustong balikan, kasi may tinanong si student mo, okay, balikan mo yun sa module, that's okay. You have 1 year access to that, and you also have 1 year support from me, your trainer. So, like kung may question yung student mo na parang nahirapan sagutin, you can send me an email and I can help you, okay, with like on how would you explain to your student or what's a good way, okay, to deliver the answer or the clarification to your student. So 1 year of support and 1 year access to the platform po. Okay, anything else that you would like to ask? Meron pa po ba? Is there anything else? Wala na po. Okay, so let's call it a night. Thank you so much, everyone. And watch, I think you have to watch out next Wednesday. We are also again going on a live session, this time with a different topic naman, pero still about ESL and online teaching. All right, so have a pleasant evening, everyone, and I hope to see you in or maybe as a part of our training group. Okay, so pwede kayong sumali, humabol po kayo sa enrollment with the 3 courses, yung ESL, yung customer service, and then yung general virtual assistance until this coming Friday po. Okay, and until then, I'll see you on our next live session. Good night, everyone.
Hi, my name is MK. I'm the founder of Filipino Home-Based Moms or FHMoms. What we do is we help Filipino mothers inside and outside the Philippines to get an online job, and now we are expanding to helping more Filipino mothers without access to the internet by giving them home-based livelihood opportunities.
Before kasi kami na nag-home-based job, parang living paycheck to paycheck kami. Sahod niya, oy, hati na agad yan yung matitira. Or nung nag-home-based na kami, doon nakapag-ipon na kami. Nakapag-church wedding kami. Tapos nagkaroon na kami ng savings. Nagkaroon na rin kami ng investments, tsaka insurance. Nakapag-bili na rin kami ng house.
Dito kasi sa pag nagtrabaho kami sa bahay, mas maraming time na sa kids, sa kanya. Kaya, ayun. Hanggang ngayon, masaya pa rin naman ako sa pag-online yun.
Since sobrang hirap, importante ko na talaga yung talong ng job, na-experience ko na rin yung discrimination sa work. Until October 28, like, I was invited to be an inspirational speaker and you were one of them. So yun, na-meet kita. And then doon ako na-trigger, mami. Doon na talaga yung, doon na ako pinasok talaga yung mundo ng pag-workplace. You gave me hope. I remember yung experience ko sa isang company na discriminate ko. I got projects, I got freelance job, naging ambassador sa isang company. So those were some things na natutunan ko sa office.
So, nag-join ako ng FHMoms last 2017 and that was the first year na nag-transition ako from corporate to working from home. So, nakita ko to sa Facebook as a mommy community for, like freelancers. So, that's why I joined. For me, FHMoms is really like a blessing. The group or this community made me realize my calling as a teacher. It's an honor to be part of this group, to impart what I know, and help other mothers out there as part of the goal of FHMoms. So, go for it.
In my job, there are many tasks. There are so many things that needs to be done in front of the computer. There's a lot of forms, paperwork, and also a lot of research. At the same time, being an event planner, I'm always on the go. And as a new company, it's also challenging whether should I hire an employee, like a regular employee, or should I just get somebody that's on call. Now, this is where FHMoms came in, like God said. So when I hired one of the wonderful FHMom members with the name of Katie, I was able to communicate to her what I envisioned my business to be, and she helped me to create a very positive branding of my business. So I would say having FHMoms as a support system for my business has been the best decision that I have ever made.